MC in the world. You got to give me mine, cause I'm heavy when I weigh it. Watch the way I say it, ego trip. I changed my pitch up, smack my bitch up, I never did it. The flavor's being rough, but brothers ain't getting it, get it? Or else you're a goner. When I rolls over, you're gonna have to wanna land. Cause it's the Chattanooga champ, taking a train, taking a train, taking a train, taking a train.
Now I'm something like a phenomenon. I'm something like a phenomenon. Well, I'm the hourglass cat, drug it out of jack.
For chill.
And I still the phenomenon. Pack the holes in my lawn, the girls in my song. Word is born, I'm a living phenomenon. Well, I'm a better brand, cause I'm a Superman. I run the block with myself, cause I'm Nubian. I got the platinum thrust, so don't even fuss. Cause DJ Paul, he's down with us. Now people stop taking my style and for a joke. I don't sass or brass, I put the foot up the ass. Sometimes I fast, walk off like a seal.
When they reminisce over you.
For real. Mace chopped the record down to the bone. And now Renee King is on my telephone. But I got the ring, ha, ha, hey, hey.
Cause this type of shit happens every day.
I got the McNair connection, so my import stuff. What word am I? Cause I'm so fly.
Yes, on and on. I'm in like river, drive my yacht. I got deals like Johnny. Sell that 7L. We're good for ya. Bigger than bigs. Dig it, I dug it. Ways that amazes folks. I am the is equals is, cause it's caught up when the tide taught me the ropes. No waits for the bait. Man, I'll give you 4. For a verb unheard of, man, give me one more. Alright, you got it if you're special. With a dab or two, tapper when a lot's going on. Ain't a damn thing happening. The answer to the riddle is me. And here's the question, who could be? Who could be? Who could be? Who could be beautiful? Who could be? Who could be?
We be the Jericho Turnpike Band. That's competition, try to troop my way. I say the song you never heard before. I keep the famine in the mind. So mind your manners, baby. I run a line on you. Lay you on the Springsteen slayer. All this in a condom cause I be a taxpayer. Promoting of a rocket in my skin like Danny Boone. When I swallow, hear the boom. So give me room, just give me room. Back the hell up.
Know what I'm saying?
Or when I run the mic, there won't be no delaying. Pressure 40, nothing like an easy finger oven.
Blues got the muff.
Eat it.
Blues got the muff.
Eat it.
Intoxicate many with my talk without intoxicating myself. No, so I got...
Linden Boulevard, represent, Z Tribe Called Quest, represent, when the mic is in my hand, I'm never hesitant, my favorite jam back in the day was Eric B for president. Rude boy composer, step to me, you're over, brothers wanna flex, you're not Mad Cobra, MC short and black, there ain't no other, Trinity born bad like me, your mom's grandmother, tipping shot they all that, fight dog widow, honey tell you man to chill, or else you'll be a widow, did not you know that my style's a top dollar, the 5-foot assassin I can please off his collar. Hip-hop scholar since being the hot to a duck. The hide of Muggsy Bogues. Complexion of a hockey puck. You better ask somebody on how we flip the script. Come to a tribe show and watch the 3 kids rip.
Breezes in the house. Represent. A Tribe Called Quest. Represent. No teaming up the style cause it gets a rep. A Tribe Called Quest. Represent. Here we go. You know that I'm the rebel. Know what I'm the wicked like God did the devil. Funky like your grandpa's drawers. Don't test me. We in like that. You're dead like Presley. When we coming through, get tickets to see me. We work for the paper, so there'll never be a preemie. Lyrics are abundant, cause we got it by the mass. Egos are our idol, cause the music is the jazz. Wheeler on the pitch. Curveball, catch it. I think I got it locked. Just move while I latch it. Right. Now I must move with the quickness. Here comes Shaheed, so we must bear the witness.
Represent, a Tribe Called Quest, represent, the dog is scientific with the styles I inject, a Tribe Called Quest, represent, MCs like to metal, but here's my proposition, I let my lyrics flow, and judge your whole position, I'm radical with this, like the man as long as after tip, settle down, what's the reason for the laughter?
I really can't say, I guess I'll have to keep it crying, so much going on, people killing, people dying, but I won't dwell on that, I think I elevate my mental, thanks for these bars on the Vico instrumental.
Yo, I'll take it back, I'm the Indian giver. MCs take notes as I stand and deliver. Percussion is an S, D's wear the vest. Why they dodging bullets? You should be dodging
nodes is swollen. They told me even when the record skip, keep it rolling on his shoulder like a California highway patrolman. Launch codes were stolen and sold by Ed Snowden. I fled to Rome and told him to dress me as a Roman. I'm still in photos posing with my own omen. A thumping kicker for me to slam like Hogan is something like a plain bumper sticker, no slogan. This something for the shooters and back and forth commuters who never knew the difference in laws and jurisprudence. I feel as though it's safe to assume that to the students and non-congruent to the way that me and Doom do this. You checking the top 2 of 1,000 intelligent chaps with rap projects and housing developments. Cooler cross-legged on a crate like it's elegant. Try to hate, I'm puffing up your face like a pelican. Highly enveloped and activating my melanin. Y'all failing to see what's shaking besides gelatin. News bulletin, I refuse to take the medicine. Fuck a thick skin, I got me an exoskeleton. The black collar feral and a lobster. Deliver like an obstetrician but not a doctor. Bring the Cambridge, the Websters, the Oxfords. The picture too long to watch. See the synopsis. Compensated for playing nice as optics. Product of the last poets and the Watts prophets. I stop it. It's beyond out of pocket. Dunzo. I hit the gun show and got a rocket. Catastrophic, supreme microphonist. In Mexico, we the legendary Dos Cajones. Brothers, both components. Other close to colas, court holders. With bars as hard as Angolas.
Doom get rude with the dude off chips. The mood switch, he chewed off strips of a brood witch. Danger make a groove off a glitch. Major boo booty twitch and the crew rich bitch. Always wanted to say that ever since the days in hallways taunting the stray cat. The one he often frequently slapped around. All the while waited and graduated cap and gown. Hated the rap sound, debated the crap until he felt he had it mapped down. Enough to have the game trapped and bound. Scratching the crown with the names of lames who yapped the noun. Or verb for that matter. Had no data for a herb who chatter. Oh, Eric Estrada, fat rat, the mask made him batty as a mad hatter. Known for his absurd word choices, and will ignore you if you ask him if he heard voices. Look, the energy is crazy. Far as he was concerned, the enemy was lazy. Your attention please, freeze. He came to seize the free cheese. Before he flees to Belize, in case you forgot to mention, squeeze these. Just keep it on a need to know basis. They knew he was a Negro, so no need to show faces. Back in the days of no laces, on a slow pace, they used to say he might could go places. Man, whatever the cases, the card he played was ace of spades, but no races. A spastic, some call loony. When he spit a tune, sarcastic as Paul Mooney.
Talking about that. Had my back against the wall 20-some odd times. It's only right I hit him like this. Yeah. Woo! Gotta hit the blocks to flex on him. Remember when I couldn't get a job? Nowadays he coming through like a few checks on him. Risk it all, there's a meal you could bet on him. I'm a ball like the ref will call it tech on him. Daughter used to play with the boy, but I got my numbers up, so they had to put respect on him. Told him I was coming for revenge quick. I've been plotting this since Rick was whipping Lexus. Knowing not to miss the check. Until your friends mistalk politics that I hate to hear me mention. Still moving in the city with no cosign.
All right, what's up, guys? Yo, 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 how's it going, everybody? What's happening? Good morning, good morning. All right, we're about to get into the stream. Actually about to pull up a couple things. Metal's looking a little enticing right now. As always, we're going to dive into New York Open, so we'll be looking at NQ, YM, NASDAQ, Dow Jones. Take a look at a little bit and some metals. Look at the majors. Maybe oil got something for us. We'll see. We'll dabble into some Bitcoin, a couple crypto outlooks. Check out what's going on in the stocks world as well. Get us prepared. So typically, if you're, maybe you're new to this session, typically we get into a trade or two while we're live. Just depends if the setups are there, right? And if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Mike Navarrete. Been in the game for 10 years now. 10 years. Been trading live here in front of people since December 2017. So it's been 8 years now. Live streaming, trading, winning, losing in front of y'all. So it's been a good time. But yeah, let's dive into it. Let's see what's in store for us. Obviously, you guys can blow up the chat, ask your questions. There'll be resources and a whole bunch of things that are on the screen on the top and the bottom. But let's head into it. Let's have some fun. Grateful as always to be here with you guys and just to be able to do this in real time, to really set an example more than anything. And I mean, we can all win together, so why not, right? All right. That being said, let's dive right in. So to kick things off, I'm feeling good right now. We got gold and we got silver. Gold, silver, gold, silver. Now, when I'm showing you these two options, which stands out to you more? If you were to buy or sell something here, but I am looking for buys. If I was going to buy silver or buy gold, for those of you that aren't familiar, I typically keep in consideration the asset class in general. So what does that mean? When we're looking at metals, we're considering gold and silver. So we're looking really at both. And I typically trade the asset that's holding structure best, the one that's not. For example, if I'm looking for buys, then the market has to retrace for these buys. So I'm going to wait for the one that's going to work its way down the slowest, the least aggressive. So how can you find out? How can you kind of tell? Well, you can use your fib tool, Fibonacci over here. And we can see gold is retracing already to a point where it's down 50% of its current range. Okay? So there's gold. Meanwhile, silver's chilling right now. Silver is nowhere near 50%. Actually, it's not even at a 38.2 yet. So silver right now is actually holding up its bullish structure much better, which more than likely, now this could change, but more than likely on the way down, it seems like silver is probably going to get down to these levels at a slower pace. All right. So as of now, I am leaning towards silver for the buys. And so the overall idea looks like this. So we had a lot of buyers, a lot of retail buying from basically yesterday's New York Open after it spiked down. Saw it moving sideways, building up liquidity here. Get some equal lows. The market's kind of choppy. And then during Asian session yesterday, we see a big spike down over here. It's a big move. The intention behind this, and then if we get into smaller time frames, it looks a little bit easier. But the intention behind a move like this, where it starts to sell off, another push down, and this starts to liquidate buyers, and then we get this sudden move up. So we don't really spend too much time down here. When the market breaks below these prices, it's very short-lived, super quick, and then we know we get back to higher highs, and the market now has been moving sideways here for the last 5 hours or so. So structure, check, bullish. The liquidity capture, check. Now what we basically are kind of wanting to see here is, you know, where within the zone, because it's a pretty big zone where everything starts to sell off from. I would say that, you know, we're kind of falling from over here, and that's where the liquidity capture starts. So from this zone exactly, we start pushing further and further ahead, and then now here's where I think we can get a reversal. So where would I be looking for reversals? Honestly, you had a good amount of support right here. I kind of rejected a bit before one last push down. So this could be an idea right around that 886 pullback. That's really good in terms of risk reward. So remember, if you have, let's say, an entry around here, obviously the smaller the stop loss, the better, like the faster you're going to make money if it goes in your direction. So this is an option, right? Trading around here. Now, the other thing too, though, is we do, as we work our way up here, we kind of lose some momentum before we push again. So there is this order block here where you see the market, you know, push down and then rally. So you might get a good bounce out of this zone too. So getting a rejection out of here is likely right around here. So then this is where I would also consider buys in this zone. So right around here, we've seen reversals plenty of time. So it's kind of two main areas where I think we can get, you know, a good opportunity. And the downside to this is that the RR, obviously it takes a lot more for the market to pay us anything substantial here. And we also have to figure out, could this go higher? Or are we just going to kind of stick to this range over here? Or are we going to get a higher high? So as you're considering this, if we are under the belief that the market with metals here can go higher, if we believe this is true, then I think it's worth it, right? I would say, all right, cool, it's worth taking this up to here if we think this is the truth. So what can you do in this example? You could split your risk if you're like, you know what, I don't know which one I want to take here. So you can split your risk, have half your risk here, half your risk down here. This one I think is very likely to trigger. The one down here, I'm not really sure. So you could do that. You can just, you know, take your full position here or your full position here. But these are all likely to happen in my opinion. I think I'm going to go half risk on both here and see where we go from here. And then we're going to also keep in mind what's going on here with gold. Because for all we know, gold might pick up momentum again and then it just all happens later. So either way, gold also, as you guys can see, very similar trading, sideways movement, liquidity. There's a lot of sideways movement here, more support over here. And then you basically start to see this sell off, start clearing these lows. It kind of starts to stall a little bit. So we get another push down before the market reverses. So, I mean, I'm looking at this. I think the reversal on gold could be right here, which is like a zone within a bigger zone. So you kind of have like two areas in itself here. But the reason I'm not going with gold for the buys is because it's just more bearish right now. It's dropping more aggressively. It's pulling back. It's at a 50% pullback while silver is chilling way up here. So I'm staying pretty patient with this. I'm going to wait on silver to take any positions. So that's metals. Let's get into indices. We have Now we kind of have that breakdown on gold, and silver, so we can make decisions over here. How do you guys think about metals? Are you guys leaning on one to the other? Do they look valid to you? What would you guys do in this example? Okay. Now, indices, right? We are 4 minutes away from New York Open. It's working its way down, already below London lows and targeting New York lows. So yesterday we actually mitigated here really nicely. I didn't take any positions over here or anything, but it did look like we kind of rejected this whole move already, which is cool. Now, taking a look at the market from a 15-minute perspective, I want to show you guys, kind of where are we with NQ and where are we with Dow. So NASDAQ actively at a 618 pullback on this 15-minute range. We've already mitigated a lot, so I'm actually going to clear up this zone. We've already done a lot over here. This is kind of the next zone that I'm waiting for. Welcome, everyone. What's up? What's up? Buenos dias. Sup? Emmanuel, Seth, Ibanez, Joe, Brandon, Corey, Edgar, Friso, Miguel, Greg, Harshi. What's up, everybody? Patrick, Ile, buenos dias. Vaughn, Jess, the Torres fam, Toby. What's good, everyone? Son Dolce. Caught a clean oil buy overnight. Nice. Solid, man. Grateful for you, too. ¿Qué tal? All right, cool. Let's dive in. Diego, me gusta un poco más la compra con plata. All right, Jorge, we got Savage Kev. All right, so that's NQ. Pretty deep pullback so far. And when you take a look at Dow Jones, yesterday, Dow looked a bit more bearish, but then things took a little twist. Over here. We're now actually a little bit more bullish with Dow Jones with US 30 here. So you'll notice we're actually above the 618 here instead of being more bearish like we were yesterday. Yesterday, Dow was over here. I already broke the 618, and this is around like halfway through the day. But then NQ started to pick up more bearish momentum. So right now we're seeing a bit more of a bearish NASDAQ for today. So let's see how this opens. So to give you guys kind of the bigger picture idea, I do want to buy at the deeper retracement here, whether it's NASDAQ, maybe it's S&P, or it's Dow. And if that is the case, I am looking at entries with Dow Jones around this 47,540. This is obviously with the current contract. So this is what I'm leaning more towards over here. And then let me show you guys some things that are going on here with current price action. So as we're looking at this, we saw how we had a big spike down, so this captures tons of liquidity. Thank you. No, what a sweetheart. Un cafecito. All right. Now we're good. Now we're set. So we see the capture of liquidity. From here, we clear the highs briefly. Very, very, very briefly. The market then starts to bleed into this, and it's mitigating right now. Wow, really aggressively. And so we're seeing Dow just absolutely rip out of here. I didn't take this. I didn't love the price action. We broke above briefly, very briefly, came down again. So, I mean, we kind of traded above here for a bit. But anyways, this just took out the highs on London session highs, Tokyo highs, and traded into New York session. So could the market reverse somewhere up here? Absolutely. I don't have enough confirmation to take a trade right there, though. Now, if you look at NASDAQ's got a ton of liquidity still over here. So you kind of have this trending liquidity. Would I want to get in the way of this already? No. I would want the market to clear at least London highs, maybe even Asian session highs, and kind of give us somethings over here. So instead, we'll see. But Dow here right now it's pumping. It's pumping pretty strong. So could we have a reversal? Could we have a buy scenario? Maybe. Now, this looked pretty like the capture of liquidity. It rallied. I just wasn't sold so much on this because it failed to stay above here. It did stay above this over here, but, that's all it really was. So, I don't know. I just wasn't convinced on any of this. Vaughn, you're asking if we could get a shakeout sell. You took the buy? Nice. Solid. I get why some of you would. This is like almost a setup for me for the buy. If only this structure would have been a bit more clear, like just more solid, I would have taken this. But it just wasn't good enough. But I'm glad that you guys did. Amazing. Well done. Just hit a 7R on Dow. Woo-hoo. That boy good. Yeah. Meanwhile, okay. So, as you can see, Dow and NASDAQ totally on different pages. Look at this. Dow Jones, absolutely bullish, ripping. And then NQ taking out New York session lows. And really just kind of not doing much. So what happens now? Like you mentioned, Vaughn, what we could see here, this could be the beginning because I want an extra bit of information in order to maybe short this. So now that we've cleared London session highs, now that we've cleared, we traded into this zone over here, right? Here we had a nice bullish move that took out some equal highs. So if the market drops down, let's say we quickly lose some momentum here. So if the market kind of draws down over here, and then you see it play out of the previous highs, we might see this then want to lure in some retail buyers, put them into profit, and this is where the market then makes its move to the downside. So we could very much see something like this. And especially if Dow and NQ stay moving in opposite directions, then this works really well. If that's not the case, then we might be looking at something different. As I trade in the morning almost every day, New York Open, I notice when London's move takes out Tokyo lows or highs, with those kind of movements generally react like that. Cool. Awesome. So right now, Dow is still ripping. Meanwhile, okay, so look at this. Now we're starting to see NASDAQ took out New York lows. All right. So NASDAQ sweeping liquidity of higher time frame. Price action clears these lows, trades it down to here. This looks borderline right here. It kind of looks like equal lows too. So you can see NQ struggling to go any higher, while Dow is not stopping for nobody. So I wanted a short out of here yesterday, actually. Here was a nice pump. I wanted us to take these highs and then from here sell. So if you guys are kind of noticing this, this was when we saw the market trade above New York Open, fill imbalance, and then immediately come back down, kind of chop up and down here. And then the market obviously continues to go bearish. So I wanted to see something out of here yesterday. Kind of want to show you guys here real quick, get into the details. Yeah, so here's what I was looking for yesterday. This was playing out of this little order block, but we never came back to this imbalance and then shorted. So I was like, all right, cool. We could work our way over here and short. So that's kind of one thing I was looking at here. However, again, I want to keep in mind what's going on here with S&P, what's going on here with NQ, and now they're all moving together. So you can see NASDAQ slowly, but it's starting to work its way up. You know, we're starting to, looks like it wants to take out that New York Open over here. So it's starting to go bullish. S&P, everything is just still moving to the upside, just NASDAQ's moving a lot slower. Considering the fact that NQ has tons of liquidity here, I would honestly want to see it take out more of this, and then we could look for a shakeout with NASDAQ. So NASDAQ maybe taking out this, trading over here, and then maybe from here we can look for a short. So something like this is possible here. Not my best drawing, but it is what it is. Hey, shout out to all you guys here that are plugged in live. Appreciate y'all. I know that, you know, we're here every day. So consistency is key here. And yeah, thanks for hitting the little like button thing. I think it gets people on, more random people that have never seen this before, gonna hang out with us. So yeah, as much as I like the possible shorts with Dow, and I feel like this is one of those things where, like, yeah, I want to short Dow, but like the data is telling me you should probably wait because there's a lot of incentive for NASDAQ to go higher. I think that's going to be the case today. So I am going to stay out of Dow despite my intuition here. Here we go. So yeah, I was looking for the short up in here. I don't love the fact that NASDAQ and S&P just have a lot of incentive to go higher. And I think that is going to take out these London and Asian session highs over here. And even looking for buys on NQ, look, I also understand that. But just look at the sheer momentum. And look at how fast this is changing. Now, all of a sudden, Dow Jones is super bearish for the last, 3 minutes or so as it got to that mitigation point, while these are a lot slower to move down. So maybe this holds up, maybe not. We'll see. If, for example, because this also is giving us the beginning of that confirmation that I was talking about, right? Where the market can, come back to, let's say, previous levels of resistance. This is typically where we have a, retail would, here's the breakout. Here's where they start to trade a retest. So you could see something like this. And then if this incentivizes enough buyers, more retail liquidity, then I would be open to selling and, working our way down. Just going to depend on how the rest of the market's looking. So, for example, let's say that NASDAQ clears liquidity up here, whether it's taking out London highs or taking out Tokyo highs. And then if that sets up Dow, then cool, we might be ready for that short with Dow. So as of now, this has mitigated as I had expected. And now we get extra confirmation. So if we, as long as, the rest of this goes as I'm forecasting, we might be able to set up a sell from there. So let's wait and see. Now going back to metals, still pushing higher. So it doesn't seem like this is slowing down anytime soon. Gold came back up. Okay. So no ideas really for me here, like to take any positions or short or anything. I'm cool. Silver, very bullish, so not necessarily going to tackle this on right away. I'm going to stay out of this. We just took out a lot of this liquidity playing into these levels, but I'm not necessarily going to force any trades. I think we have that gold sell up here still. This would be fantastic. So let's not forget about this potential idea we had, and if I zoom out, it'll look a lot cleaner. You guys will be able to see this one. This sell could be a swing trade too, so I do like potential reversals around here. All right, yeah, something like this looks clean. So seeing a short out of this range, especially now that we're just maintaining structure pretty well. Yeah, out of here looks good. I'm leaning more towards like 42.72, right around here, 42.70. So a short out of this would be fantastic. And then this we would be riding it out into this overall structure. This to me just looks like distribution. So playing down into these levels just makes a lot of sense. All right, so here's gold for the short, and then we have gold for the buy as well. So you got a little bit of both. Let me start to... Let's get this here a little written up. So today's setups. It's December 9th. The year's coming to a close soon, guys. How are we feeling about this year? Let's get a little reflection going here. How do we feel about 2025 as traders? What are some of our biggest wins? And what do we feel like we can do better going into 2026? Swing sell here for gold, and then silver. Silver here is on its mission. Okay. So silver. This is intraday longs. Okay. I'm going to post this right away, and then we can go from here. I'll keep editing this. Okay. Oh, this happened quickly. That's not what I wanted. So we kind of pumped up right away. Not kind of what I wanted to see there. I wanted it to take its time, but maybe we come up one more time a little bit later. But okay, look at Dow, and then now let's look at NQ. So NASDAQ already starting to slow down. NQ, interesting. It took out like some of the New York Open high, the spike. So it cleared that and then came right back down. So I wonder if... if it's going to do what we're talking about, where it captures liquidity and then it kind of does a break and retest, lures in buyers, and then drops. There is a chance that NASDAQ decides to, I guess, not really go for Tokyo and London and Tokyo highs. I don't know. There's too much liquidity over here. Looking for a short here is a little sketchy, in my opinion. Probabilities just aren't really there. I'm going to keep waiting on Dow. I think I'm going to stick with Dow, see if we get another chance at the market luring in more buyers. Maybe we get another version of this, and then we can take a short. The sell limit box you have in YM, didn't it already get played out of on Monday? Nah. Like, probably a dumb question, but does the Tradefy accounts come with the live CME data to connect to TradingView? because TradingView needs an add-on for CME live data because it's delayed 10 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, that's some of the perks, I guess, of doing that. TopStep does the same thing. So, for sure. Yeah, so I think the code is somewhere over there. So you can go to Tradefy.co and then just use the code MAGO, and you guys will be able to get a percentage of that. And then I forgot when, but at some point, basically, you hit some sort of threshold, and then they'll pay you out. So for me, my goal is to just literally take all of the affiliate money and then just do giveaways. So it kind of just circles back to y'all anyways. But yeah, if you guys use that, then I can just, send that right back to you. Yeah, hopefully that that works. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so look at this. NQ broke above New York Open, came right back down. A little choppy, but now it's pushing again right back towards this. So I am under the impression that we're going to see the liquidation of at least this trend line, if not higher. So I'm holding off on sells. All right, let's see here. What are you saying? Said if I make them all until the end of the year, I'll have missed one session this year, which is none. That's pretty epic. Just missing one trading session with me the whole year. But hey, that's probably why Brandon's killing it. Consistency. Walking into 2026 funded. Biggest one has got to be the way I changed how I look at the market. I love that, Corey. Man, I mean, you just plugging in, like, you really took this syndicate serious in the last few months, and I mean, we can tell, man. Funded. 2025 was an amazing year. I was able to travel more than ever, clear 5-figure withdrawals, and what I can do better with and work on is money and risk management. Absolutely, man. More 5-figure, you know what? 6-figure withdrawals coming your way. Moving Wicks is doing exactly that. All right, cool. Awesome. Yeah, I just love to see what the biggest strengths and weaknesses we have and what our intentions are going into the next year. Okay, so let's get back to it. We saw kind of what I hinted at, right? That NQ might just want to reel in some buyers and then play out of New York and keep pushing down. So there just wasn't enough for me to pull the trigger on anything. I don't think it's really worth it. What could play out here maybe is playing out of this where we have kind of a low amount of, like, the market cleared the lows here. So it cleared these buyers, traded down into here, into these lows. And then the market might want to just reverse out of this. But none of these are just textbook setups. That's kind of the annoying thing. It's like they're kind of they're mid setups. They're like, this is what probably is going to happen. But it's not like this is exactly the type of, it's not in our playbook. So at least for me, long term, it's better to only execute when you have exactly your confirmations. Because if you start to validate things that are like kind of there, like you could rationalize, then all of a sudden you're not really trading systematically. You're not trading mechanically. So you have to be able to disqualify just some of your hunches. Some of you like, oh, I could see it. That could go. Because the downside is this. If you're kind of committed to a trade, you're also kind of going to be committed to the loss. So if you're not sold on the idea, but your impulse is your just desire to be in the market because you want to have a chance at making money, if that's what you're prioritizing, just to be in the market, then by the time you're in, when it's time to take the loss, it gets to the price where maybe you have the stop, maybe you even don't because you weren't even that convinced on it. it's just harder to lose appropriately if you were never bought into the idea overall. So just wanted to give you guys a little bit of perspective there, and make sure you're taking only your higher conviction plays. Otherwise, you're just, if you stand for everything, you really stand for nothing, right? So just some perspective. All right, so here we go again. Coming back up. Dow, unfortunately, still more bullish than everything, so not looking for any positions here or anything like that. If anything, now what we're noticing is the market, obviously we have the London lows over here and then New York lows over there. But we do see a nice spike down before the market rallies, and now we're getting more proof that the market is, that there is demand for this here. So, I mean, we had that spike down and then continuation. We might just have a buy over here. A little buy play right here. Right, you see the market dip down one more time, squeeze, and then rally. So from here, this looks good. Now, another area that looked interesting to me was yesterday. Yesterday, we had before New York opened, the market pumps up to here and then drops. So looking for a sell up here might come to this zone. However, since Dow is pushing so much more bullish than the rest of the indices, I'm still not leaning on that to take a position. NQ still, look at this, suppressed. Like, sellers are dominating right now. So it looks more than likely that NASDAQ is going to be the better sell idea eventually. We just got to get our confirmations. Okay, so while that's happening, let's take a look at a couple other things, right? Let's go look at the majors. Are there any setups here with these US dollar pairs? Right now, quick look at Swiss franc. Not much going on. Some liquidity up here. It's been bearish, so you have your, lower lows, lower highs. See a nice little spike up here during Asian session, and then it kind of turns around, moves sideways. I just don't love price action around here. However, Australian here. Yesterday we had news, and we had that big pump or drop, big dump here. So, okay. You see a sweep of buyers in this zone. So you had kind of sideways movement here. So there's liquidity over here. This clears that out. Excellent. So you see a nice drop right there. Right into this zone. I think we already traded out of here before, so we can leave that behind. All right, so we've been bullish. Market cleared the lows and then just rallied. Dipped down one more time here and just pumped. We started to trade above this structure, the 5-minute structure. Created liquidity over here. And it's maintained throughout all of the rest of Asian session, London session, and here we are now. So there's plenty of liquidity here. And yeah, I think if we ever come back down to this price and it's not the moving down the fastest or anything, then yeah, I'm open to taking a position here with Australian, and we can see a reversal out of here. So like a little buy position could be decent right here. This is where we're at right now. This could change, but I'm going to keep this in the radar. We got Australian here. if we're looking at news, today, Tuesday. So we have dollar news here in about 5 minutes as well. And then Australian news we also have tomorrow. And it's going to be unemployment rates. So it might trigger tomorrow. So we'll see. But yeah, 6A, looking decent. This dollar news might be what shakes up the indice market, the metals markets, etc. So yeah, gonna have this ready over here. Let me go ahead and add this to our list over here. So 6A, aka AUD USD. All right. What's up, Harshi? What you got for me, man? What's up, Joe? All right. A little chart action. Oil futures. Could see the bounce. The liquidity kind of like it makes this a little bit more iffy, right? And then over here, yeah, this is good. All the way at the bottom, I can see that for sure. I'm with you on this one. All right, so we got NQ still moving sideways. S&P pulling even higher. S&P is getting close to taking out London and Tokyo highs here, and S&P usually splits the difference between NQ and Dow in terms of price action. And there it goes. So I think this zone maybe started down here, actually. Wow. So interesting. Those Dow cells have both played out pretty nice. Yeah, it did start right there. They were short-lived. Like, they dumped and then just kind of bounced right back. But they did do their thing. So this played off right off the open and then instantly crashed. So the same applies once again to this idea. We might be at a place now where if the market like lures in buyers, this is our shakeout setup where it captures liquidity and then it starts to fill the imbalance. It lures in retail traders. So the break, retest, this comes up again, we might be looking for a short. So to give feedback here, if we get something like this, then we can get a position to short and work our way down. This could be a possibility. We got news in about 90 seconds, and Q still not doing anything. Australian chilling. See if we can do another quick rundown. The setup that looks pretty decent is actually this Australian sell. And this is timing into news perfectly. So I should have gotten to this faster. My apologies, guys. But yeah, this zone looks good here. So looking for a short right around here is what I would want. So let's say we had this here. Can I get to this in time? Maybe it's this chart. Oh yeah, I forgot it does that. And then let's see. Yeah, so that's what I would be doing right there. So news event here hitting in a second. All right, so news hits and the market decides to dump first, actually. Okay. So I'm going to set my limit either way. Limit here at 72,415. And then this stops at 495. All right, cool. So I'm all set here. Otherwise, if this tanks from here, then and it mitigates, then it is what it is. I wanted a better RR on this, so this is fine. This thing goes up about 14 and a half pips. This is already crashing. So, wait, hold on. This thing goes up here. Yeah, 14 and a half. Or am I tripping? No, that's right. And then now this is already dropped about 9. If it keeps pushing down to these lows, then that's a wrap, and I'll just delete this. And this is totally possible. You know, that could happen. Huh? Something strange is happening. All right. Hold on. Okay. I think I doubled. I accidentally had 2 entries going there. All right, cool. So it looks like CAD is going to just do its thing without us, sadly. That's okay. All right, let's go check in with indices again. Let's see what this does over here. Okay, getting some bullish momentum with NASDAQ. All right. Let's see, does S&P clear these soon then too? Meanwhile, we have some sideways movement so far with Dow, as we had talked about. S&P just cleared London high, just short of clearing Tokyo highs. And then now, finally, we have NQ taking out some of this trendline liquidity. All right, we just need a little more. A little bit more momentum. You can do it. What else are we waiting for, guys? How's it looking over there? That was CAD. Euro pushing down. No entry right now for any sort of buys. We did see Euro clear trade up. So this took out London highs and then made this new high pretty close to resistance over here. So I don't love sells quite yet with Euro or anything. And then buys also don't really line up. The yen is still shorting. So our hopes for a sell over here dwindled, and it's gone now. And then the pound slowly but surely doing its thing. GBP though. Okay, I'm sure you guys are seeing it. Nice little sweep of the highs. So this clears out tons of liquidity. Plays into here and then drops. So let's zoom in on this. Okay, just checking in here with indices. S&P now has liquidity up here, so I would imagine it's going to target that in a little bit. But okay, the pound. So look at how the market, man, I would have really preferred if this wasn't like this. This kind of takes out the idea that I have here. It makes this less likely to work. But what do we get here, right? We get the market here during London clears out tons of sellers, retail sellers from Friday's New York session. We have Sunday's Tokyo highs, and then Monday's New York session until this. So honestly, this would have been really great for a sell. It could work, but the downside is there's liquidity right here. There's retail sellers double top that they can definitely just get. This can clear this. So I would be mindful with this idea. Let's see how it works its way back. If everything else is moving more bullish than the pound, then I would approach this with like a half risk. But that'd really be the only way. All right. Looks like CAD is about to mitigate. It doesn't need too much more. Like two more ticks down, and I think it's a wrap there. So this looks like it did its thing. And that's okay because the risk reward just really wouldn't have been that great. So it is what it is. The trade would have been something like this. This is kind of what we would have been looking for. So it's all good. All right, here we are with NQ still. S&P equal highs. And Dow, more of the same. Came up. So Dow, very bearish. Compared to the rest, a lot more bearish than NASDAQ and S&P. So I would expect us to get another push higher with S&P, which I'm assuming is going to be with NASDAQ as well. That might be what finally makes us, push towards taking out these London highs. And honestly, though, if you look at this here, this actually takes out the high. This isn't equal highs. This does clear and then drop. So we might just see a sell right out of here. We shall see, my friends. It's a slow one today with the indices. A lot of patience required right now. Yeah, this could be something nice, though. I'm going to share this GVP idea with some notes. So this liquidity reduces the quality of the short of the sell opportunity. Only way I take a short here is if GBP is moving the slowest, is moving up slower than all other majors. Even then, would only be a 0.5R trade. All right, so here's this looks like a distribution, so like I get it, you know what I mean? But that's my take on this. The plus side is that this could really drop significantly. It's a lot of imbalance, so maybe it works its way there, maybe it doesn't. If it does, then I'll keep you guys in the loop. But yeah, this is GBP. All right, guys, if you have any setups you want me to take a look at, let me know. Here, just drop them in here. All right, Dow bouncing again. So that's it for majors. If you guys remember, we got an oil alert not too long ago. It looks like a lot of momentum to the... Oh, no. It got to the area. So here was the buy that we talked about, where by itself, it looks good. So if you don't look at the market from, let's say here, right? So if you only consider this looks like it looked like a good opportunity for a buy. However, there is equal lows over here. So this is why it's more vulnerable, that the probabilities of this failing were higher. But what this did was it got to the zone, immediately mitigated. So this already did its thing. Now it's coming back. I would at least have moved my stops to reduced or just break even. And that's it. Not really force anything else. In my opinion, what I think is going to happen is we're going to end up actually getting a sell. So the market here was moving sideways. You had liquidity building up over here. And then during... One second, let me just check in here. Okay. And then during London session, it starts to take out the highs. So this captures liquidity, comes back down, break and retest. So buyers come in again. All right. Well done. We have one more push higher, and then it drops finally, like the final push down. So this is enticing sellers the whole way, or buyers the entire way there. Then you have one more push up here where it goes up, and then it drops. So sells in this area just look solid. And then especially if the market here continues to just trade below. So this is the structure. So if this just continues to trade like this, then eventually we could get the reversal and the continuation. So something like this definitely has potential. I'm going to have my alert set, but we do need structure, bearish structure, to confirm a short on this. So add it to the list. Oil. Let's see. Still needs to confirm bearish structure. Okay. All right. So how we feeling, guys? I know haven't been able to take a trade. Almost took that CAD trade. Didn't kind of get there enough. How are you guys feeling? You know, are you a little anxious? Do you, oh man, I want to be in the markets. I want to take something. I want to trade. Are you just gonna let the market come to you? So what's up? While we're waiting, I think now's an amazing time for you guys to learn a bit more about yourselves as traders. Really identify, where can I level up as a trader? You know, what do I need to be working on? So check this out. We did this quiz, built this quiz for you guys, which comes with a customized training based on what you get. And then we even have our team that can actually go over your results, what you need to do, totally for free. So you guys can check that out. Take the quiz here. So I have this pinned now. So check that out. It's really sick. It took me a long time to do it, to build the quiz out and then make resources for every different type of outcome that you could get, just so you're more precise about how to improve your skills. So check that out right there. Patient pants on while my demons are screaming at me to get in the market. So yeah, check that out. It's right there for you guys. I posted an oil short in school. Okay, I can check them out. You took the oil buy. How did you manage this trade? So if you took oil buys, are you reduced risk? Did you get stopped out break even? Are you just going to keep it and ride it out? What's your outlook on this? Oh yeah, and if you guys didn't notice, we have a pay-per-view special here next week, FOMC, me versus Jerome Powell. So, you know, don't miss it out. Don't miss out. All right, where was this? Hold on. I think I need to refresh this. Where did you? Here we go. Tacos. Yeah, let's go. Y'all be having fun with these Taco Tuesdays. All right. Where? Oh, here we go. Von Oil. So, yeah, this would be the super sniper entry here. This is pretty efficient. Like, we had it rebalance right away. So, I'm okay. I think I'm going to get in a little earlier than this if it gives us the opportunity. So, NQ, man. NQ is holding up here. Took out New York Open. Took out, liquidity again. Came right back down. So, NASDAQ just showing us time and time again that this does not want to go up at all. So it's just moving sideways. This is building up a lot of retail buyers and a lot of retail sellers. S&P, same thing, still doing more of the same. I'm going to hold off on any sort of sells, especially because S&P has just liquidity over here right now. And then Dow mitigating this push down here. I didn't really consider buying here because of how quickly we went up and back down. So just structure just seems so fragile. So chilling. Regarding CAD, did I delete my order? I haven't yet. We saw this drop, 13 and a half. Should I delete it though? 14, what is this? Like 14 ticks? 14 and a half ticks? Interesting. It's closed, but I mean, technically, I'm going to keep it open because it might just play out of this. And then if we get a shorter mitigation out of up here, I'm cool. I'm open to taking it. Everything else bouncing back as well. Some slower than others. All right, oil working its way down. Nice. And then we got Bitcoin. All right, so what's Bitcoin doing over here? Bitcoin took out some of this sideways movement it had been making. So it traded up towards yesterday's Asian Open and then moving sideways. Okay. Building up a little bit of liquidity here. So a little trend line action. Could trade down to this level. I don't have shorts over here. So it looks more bullish than anything, Bitcoin. Typically, indices follow suit. So, or not follow, but they're kind of on the same page for the most part. ETH still pushing. Also with liquidity. All right. Let's do this. Let's take a look at some stocks. Let's look at what the stock markets is giving us today. If anybody here has a outlook on earnings reports, etc., and you want to get me in the loop real quick, that would be greatly appreciated. Webull working its way back to $10. Sweet. Drawdown there. Chipotle. We're moving on up, friends. Moving on up. So we have our entries around 31 and change. We're sitting around a little under 10% profit on that. UPS still holding up very nicely from our entry down in the 80s, the lower 80s. So we're sitting at around 15% there. Spotify doing its thing. Actually, you know what? I wanted an entry here. I lost track of this one. Do we get lower, though, is the question. I've been wanting to buy into Spotify for you guys have no idea how long. But, all right, I'm open to this under 570. Yeah, honestly, under 562, right around here. Got another push down. But I'm okay with starting to add orders here. Okay, cool. All right, so Spotify is on my radar. I use it every day, so kind of makes sense to own it. Okay, let's see. Netflix. I'm not surprised that Netflix is tanking, and I actually am not surprised that Paramount. So, if you guys didn't realize or notice, Netflix basically had a locked-in deal to buy Warner Brothers. It was like a done deal, basically. And then Paramount comes through, hostile takeover type of action. They drop this crazy-ass bid. They're like, you know what? We'll give you 100 billion plus. That's what Paramount did. And Netflix is like, yo, dude, chill. Like, we had this. It was basically a wrap. And since stock shareholders have to, like, because there's shareholders involved, Warner Brothers has to look at the deal so that shareholders can, you know, benefit the most. That's like what has to happen no matter what. So now there's consideration of Paramount buying out Warner Brothers instead of Netflix. So that's a good narrative to follow, and which could trigger more negative outlook, more negative narrative on Netflix. Netflix already down from July about 30%. So for this to work its way down even further, trading into where we have kind of this big sell-off, I'm not surprised at all. Not surprised whatsoever. I think we'll probably have more of a bounce here soon, especially like we're like basically getting to these moments now. Like we're just about there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like this. And getting a pretty big discount on a major player like Netflix. I mean, Netflix is right now market cap at around 410 billion. So this is one of the bigger players. You know, what is it? The Mag 7. So probably I'd say under 90, pretty solid. Trading back up here. I mean, there's room for growth for sure. And for a pretty big stock like this one, not bad. Now, is there a chance that this goes lower? Can we see the market maybe trade into this gap over here? It's possible. This is the daily structure right now, and it's very strong. So I can't imagine it could break below, but I wouldn't put it for very long. Daily structures like this rarely get broken in stocks. So, yeah, I like entries around like basically 90 or below. So I'm going to have my alerts here on Netflix. These are, in my opinion, more conservative. Like, even if you're in drawdown, the chances that this is gone forever, not that high. All right, so here we go. Oil now breaking through the liquidity that we had marked up. Perfect. This has now done its thing. And then we can await the other level of buys, which is sitting way down here. So this is where we had other buy setups. You see this sweep below and then the rally. So if we want to get to the detail, refine the zone and the entry here, go back to right around Thanksgiving time. Here's where we see a buildup of retail buyers. You get the sweep of the low. So the market, pushes down here. And then we get one more move down before everything comes back up. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of it, right in the zone. We see everything take out the lows, squeeze, and then from here, all you have is a rally. So this cleared the lows, and then you see a bounce. And a continuation from here. So somewhere in the zone, honestly, I like buys around 57.40. And that would bring us to this over here. Got some ways to go, but got some potential. So I'll share this oil idea as well. So this is higher time frame setup, but it's definitely there. Oil longs. Okay, there we go. Mike, for the gold swing sell, would you enter that trade directly at the 1 hour time frame, or would you wait for small time frame confirmations? Yeah, just directly. So for what was it, gold? Gold, I already have my zone. Like this is where I would get in. We already have plenty of support and resistance prior to this, so I don't need an extra confirmation to get in. If you want another, smaller time frame confirmation, so that you can refine your entry more, cool. But I don't need one to validate. The trade is already valid for me. It would just be a matter of personal choice. A lot of liquidity building up here. All right, let's take a quick look back at indices and see where we're at with everything. So luring in tons of buyers with Dow. We have S&P still going lower, and then NQ just chopping up and down. A lot of consolidation, guys. I know you know what I'm about to say. I know you know what I'm about to say. Nasdaq has been doing what? It's been moving sideways. It's been consolidating. Lots of squeezing. So, if the market is squeezing a lot, what's probably going to happen? What can we expect out of the market, guys? What can we expect? Boom. All right, we can expect some big movement. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Well, I don't have confirmations to get into anything, so I don't know. And whatever happens, I'll respond to that. And so we wait. And so we wait. Oh, okay. Australian about to take out these highs. CAD's coming back. Interesting. The plot thickens. So, all right, Australian taking out the liquidity that is built up. That's great, actually. That validates our CAD idea even more, because CAD hasn't gotten above this New York Open price action yet. Euro also basically filling it all back up. The yen moving pretty slow. Pound, same thing that we just talked about. This is looking less likely to play out because it's kind of immediately coming back to this zone. So it could, but I'm not counting on it. Okay. CAD's still open for me, but I am going to manage it a bit more tightly. I'm going to treat it like a trade from here instead. Like this type of trade. All right, limits all set, and it's all good right there, so we shall see. Yeah, this is bound to break out here soon. All right, anyways, let's wrap up some stock stuff, and then we can move on. Let's see. I'm just scanning through here. Nike still in some dollar cost average territory. Google, man. Man, Google. Jesus Christ. 3.79 trillion. Oh my goodness. PayPal. Interesting. PayPal had that pump when we saw the PayPal Chat GPT collab. So that was more of a sell the news event. Now it's back down here. And one of the things here, and it's cool because it mentions it right there, but we are seeing PayPal get more into the buy now, pay later idea. And so I do think that that's probably going to have a good benefit on this stock overall. What an absolute colossal dump that happened post-COVID. So, I mean, these are, guys, this has been squeezing for some time. So look at how sideways it's been moving. It's been moving sideways for 3.5 years. And within this, it's seen some pumps, 25%, 50%. But I'm going to say right now, the upside potential on this is pretty solid. Even just playing into this order block here, like the last pump before it dumped, which is where I would take profit, like right around, let's say 150, 151. This is like set and forget kind of vibes. I don't know when this would pop, but an aggressive move is likely to happen. That I feel pretty good about. Honestly, I'm going to start stocking up a bit on PayPal. Just some passive, because it does look like it has 150% growth potential. So I like it. Wouldn't say that it's let's see here. I don't know if it's going to happen fast, but I do think it can happen. Let's see. All right. PayPal on the radar. All right, solar seeing some movement right now. Not too crazy, but coming back to life here. I'm still holding ENPH here throughout this time. Coinbase, slowly but surely, continuing. Got about 12% on that, 13%. Beyond with a good bounce today. We got Airbnb. Did y'all pick up Airbnb with me? All right, Airbnb here, pushing nicely. Not crazy, but 6-7% so far. Lululemon, from our dollar cost averages, we were up about 15, back down to like 10% growth on Lulu. Yeah, cool. Okay, so pending order on CAD. Actually, I don't think I shared this, so let me go ahead and share this. If this distributes nicely, man, we could go and get all of this. I just don't know if it would happen today. So here's my focus, intraday play here. All right, so here's 6C. All right. And then indices wise, basically my breakdown here is let's let NASDAQ, S&P clear liquidity, and then we can see what kind of shorts we might be able to get, right? So overall, that's kind of my take. I'll just put it right up here. Like, let's see. We'll do a triple breakdown here. All right. So basically, all right, indices here for indices. Waiting to see Tokyo highs get swept for ES potentially, and London highs swept for NQ. We'll see where this leaves the market as a whole, possibly YM shakeout or just shorting NQ. So let's see, keep your alerts set, respond to what the market gives you. All right, cool. So we're all set in stone there. We'll wait it out. Everything else, same thing. CAD, staying chill, relaxed on this one. Guys, quality session. Let me check the chat here real quick one more time before we wrap up. Letting the market come to me, not chasing. All right, great. Tacos on mic in the setup. Let's see. Nah, I didn't delete it. I can expect to see some tears from some guy who took a... Wait, what? Y'all going crazy in here. Throwing shots. Hey, Mike, I realize I don't hop on tossed up a lot and look at the market, but I hop on to make sure I didn't accidentally get into the ghost positions. Any tips on how to get clarity on this, please? I don't understand your question, actually. I don't hop on toss up a lot to look at the market, but I hop on to make sure I didn't accidentally get into ghost positions. Can you, like, what do you need help with exactly? All right, guys. So look, no trades so far today. And that's what it is sometimes. Like, you got to respond to it, man. Like, you can't just get in because you're bored, get in because you're used to it, get in because it's just like what you want to do. So don't trade your feelings, right? Now, again, as an exercise, I want you guys to look at your 2025. Look at how you're approaching, even right now, like how you're approaching this, and, write down, okay, this year, how much have I invested into accounts, into trading? How much has it cost me? How much has my learning cost me this year? What is it that I need to do in order to turn this into another level? So there's, free resources in the community. If you've gone through those, then awesome, guys. I forgot to mention this. The credit program, right? So as you guys know, for the last 6 months, almost 7 months now, we've been offering $500 credits for doing different things in the community, for just like, tapping into the resources to helping you level up. Because for us, we want to work with traders who know that this is what they're going to do. We know like this, like the people that are in the syndicate are not people that are just kind of curious, kind of interested in getting into trading. It's like, you want this to be your profession, right? You want to pull from the markets at a high level on a monthly basis. And so that's why we gave all this free resources, so that, one, you can just either learn this completely for free, figure it out, get paid, live your best life, or two, you put in the work, you're doing the right things, and then when you want more feedback, you want more hands-on work, you want to accelerate it, then okay, cool, we're here to help you guys for that. So the credits are going to expire this Friday. So if you've been doing different things, watching different courses so that you can cash those in, now's the time to do so. So this is going to be for the whole month, right? We're going to be taking in people that want to take 2026 serious, that want to have hands-on feedback so that you can finally not just get funded. That's cool. That's the first thing. But to actually get something out of it, to be able to trust yourself so that you can sit on your hands, not do any crazy business, so that you actually have the discipline, so that you actually start to journal for the first time or consistently. So you like who you are when you're in the markets. And at this point, guys, like, sometimes all you need is a bit more hands-on work. And I'm excited to do this because for me, my goal is to help you 10x whatever it is that your goals are. So that's why, we have this syndicate. So my recommendation is for you to stop playing and make it happen. All right. So if you want hands-on help, if you want to tap into all of our extra value, then book a call here. Ask yourself, what have you been waiting for this whole time? Right? This is your time to take advantage so that you go into the new year with momentum. You go into the new year starting to rewire your emotions, your disciplines, your behaviors. So take advantage or don't. Or don't. You can do this all on your own. I believe you genuinely can. But if it hasn't been working for you, then I'm going to make sure it's worth it for you. All right. And anyways, you have other people in here that are in the syndicate. They can give you their feedback. I'm super stoked with how everyone's transformed over the years. So let's get into it. How would you feel, Mike, if you were about to pass a challenge and you only need $2 and now have to start all over again? What do you mean? Like you were $2 away and then it blew up? I mean, that's the ultimate, I guess, test of responsibility. Like, I was $2 away, but I chose instant gratification. I chose to, go outside of my rules. So, unfortunately, the market is fair. It is what it is. It happens. But now you know the cost. And sometimes we forget, what's the cost of all these bad decisions? What's the cost of these impulsive decisions? It's not what's just the cost to do something. What's the cost to not do something? What's the cost of staying the same? What's the cost of staying impulsive? And the thousands of dollars down the drain again that don't help you get anywhere. So can't really feel sorry for yourself. You just got to take it on the chin and move on. I tend to look good buy all the time. Why is that? Oh, your mind is looking for buys? I don't know. I think it's naturally easier for the market to go, like, I think if you're more optimistic, you want the markets to just go up. So you get trained on that. Maybe when you started trading, you were maybe trading more buys. That's the difference. Like, we all kind of have a certain thing. I buy more than I sell. Statistically, I'm in longs a lot more than I'm in sells, but that's also because I trade a lot of indices and the market can rip to the upside. So I do think it's in my favor to do that. Like, I think that's like kind of the best decision overall, risk to reward wise. But you have to, and this is sometimes about having more conversations with yourself. It's like asking yourself, am I trading what I see, what I understand, or am I trading what I want? Like, I worry once I exit my screen, I accidentally hit sell when leaving, so I go back to look to make sure I didn't sell, and I do this like 30 times. I mean, I think you just care, Corey. I think it's fine. You could either, I mean, if you close it out, then you just, I don't know, you're kind of being paranoid, I guess. It's not terrible, but I'm sure it's driving you crazy. So maybe lock your account or something if you're not going to trade anymore. It's possible. Or just, I don't know. If you already see there's nothing on your screen, then just exit. Move on. All right, awesome. Cool, guys. Well, thank you all for hopping on, enjoying the vibes. It looks like CAD's dropping without us anyways. So, yeah, we'll see. NQ starting to pick up a bit more momentum. We might get this here soon. So, take care, y'all. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.